Welcome back to another episode of the Weeb Retreat podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay. We are the Weebs, your host. My name is James. This is Germs, and as always, we have a lot to talk about today. How you doing, Germs?
Doing good, doing good. Whew, a lot of spice. You know, it's the end of the season. Gotta end with a spicy end. You know.
Yeah, let's give the peeps a preview of what we got going on. So we have the weekly roundup. We have Demon Slayer. We have Mushoku Tensei's final episode for this year. It's going to be a wait before we get more Mushoku Tensei. We have My Senpai is Annoying. Then we have Komi Can't Communicate. That's going to be our roundup. As always, the winner of the week as well. We're going to do something different this week. We have both seen the latest Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. Just as geeks, there's no way for us not to talk about it. So, yeah. So if it's going to be a spoiler-filled discussion, you can always use the timestamp down below if you haven't seen it or don't really care about that because it's not anime content. But we have to talk about it. We both saw it today. And then for some news, we have an update with Hell's Paradise anime adaptation. You'll have to see. Dr. Stone, we have an update with that, with the third season and a possible special. And then Bleach. That's right, I said Bleach. The
2021?
Not the detergent, the anime. I'm talking about the anime. There's actual news for the Bleach anime because I know that Bleach fans have been waiting forever, and there's actual progress with that. So we're definitely going to talk about it. So yeah, timestamps will be in the description below. As always, slide through the video to get to your favorite part. And with that, we got a hell of a roundup to get into. Doing this late, we're doing it for you weebs out there, okay? This is the real After Dark edition here. Let's get into a Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc, episode 3. What'd you make of this week's episode of Demon Slayer, Germs?
It's a very interesting one. A lot of little details in this one here. No, we continuation of not Zenitsu, the boy
Inosuke
going into the room like nothing here. I'm like, he's like, oh wait, the ceiling, you know, he's kind of looking around. The Nitsu does a little bit in there. Our boy
Tanjiro.
Yeah, I'm forgetting all the names today.
For the people, we saw No Way Home today. So if you've seen No Way Home, or if you even know what it's kind of about, you would know that our brains are fried from that experience. And we didn't even see it together. Yeah. So I know what Germs is going through, even though I didn't see it with him. I know that it's been a hell of a day for both of us. So excuse us for not. I even forgot. I gotta look it up.
Tanjiro,
no. The new one. Now. The Oiran of the Tokita house, Koinatsu, which is, as we find out, the demon lady.
Upper 6, I think.
She's taken out 7 Hashira, they said. So even I had to look that up before we started this, but yeah, keep going, Germs. Keep going. I had to get that.
Like every boy is getting a little bit of hints and details, some more than others, obviously.
Yeah.
And the ending scene as well. Woo.
Let's go through the 3. So let's just start with Tanjiro, who has the least development this episode. He is just working hard.
Yeah, he's doing what he do. He's doing good boy things, you know.
Yep. So he's the least interesting. We could set that aside. Let's go back to Inosuke. He sort of is
on the trail.
Following a trail. And I feel like the ladies in the house are kind of looking at him like, how are you so strong? And why are you bent over like that? Like they're kind of picking up that maybe he's a guy or maybe a very different sort of female, right? Because they think that he's a woman. So did you get that vibe at all?
Yeah, well, I think they might already be like, I think he might be a dude, you know. I think he might have said a few words. Yeah. I think when he was like running through the house, I think he might have said a few words. So
yeah,
I think,
and he even used a deep voice too.
Yeah.
So I know it's anime and it's not going to translate like that, but I think that they might be onto him possibly. And then Zenitsu, the big one. That's where most of this episode was. And like you said, that ending, dude, with the what would you call them coming down on him?
Streams of
I don't even know what you
I don't know.
Cloth,
yeah.
I don't know what you'd call them, but they're coming for him. The tentacles of death, and not the hentai tentacles. These are actually bad tentacles coming for him. So looks like they swoop him up and he's going to be her next torture victim or something like that. We'll have to see how that works. I'm glad I saw that at the end. And
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
just skip
yeah,
that. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So glad I caught that because, with EDs, you kind of like just go to the next episode or whatever. I was like, oh, we got 4
Yeah,
minutes left. What's this?
I saw too much more
What's
time on that
this?
timer there. I was like, no. Something's
Yeah.
happened. Then
See,
that can just like happen, and it just kind of just cuts to black. It's like, ooh, next week is gonna be a spicy one. And I think,
the
think,
experience.
oh, yeah, you go.
The experienced weebs know when you see that timer, then when you see that bar still going, and it's like that looks unusual. You got to peep what's there at the end past the ED.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really interested now, and I think it's like episode 3, so it's usually a good time to like really hook them in. So our boy is going to be in a bit of trouble here. It's going to be a very sticky situation. Like, going to be hard to get out of this one.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, and we learn a little bit about what's her face, Koinatsu, the demon lady. I'll just call her the demon lady. Kind of felt like this was a slow episode, but I think back to season 1 of Demons. Yeah, a little bit of Michael Jackson, but was it really anything of substance? I mean, not really. Nothing like earth-shattering or nothing like that completely changes the narrative and makes it, much more engaging so kind of a slower episode. But if I think back to season 1 had a lot of slower building up episodes like this, so I have no doubt that in the coming episodes we're going to get some action and that classic Demon Slayer goodness.
Yeah, now, especially with the shit of our boy being taken away, like now we're gonna get some action or real close, like how's he getting himself out of this situation? Yeah, even the wife wasn't obviously having trouble, and she's probably a pretty strong individual, I'd imagine, as well. So also what happened to her? Maybe we'll see next episode. Maybe they'll be both like together or something, or maybe something.
Yeah, that's what I was speculating. That's what I was thinking. It's like, is he going to be the next torture victim? I assume that she'll be successful. I assume that she'll have him wrapped up no problem and he won't be able to get out. And maybe the other two are going to have to bail him out or pick up some clue. Like I said, this season seems like it's kind of like a mystery. Like there's some, thriller stuff going on here, trying to figure out, who the demons are. So I assume she'll be successful and he won't put up much of a fight and he'll probably get caught and that'll probably move the plot along a little bit, but that's just what I assume. I have no idea.
Yeah. And that's literally all the episode was. So it's like a nice little setup here, but nothing to write home about,
Nah, nothing at all. Nothing at all. That's exactly how I feel. Last thoughts for Demon Slayer episode 3 Entertainment District Arc.
There's some good stuff in there, but nothing really crazy. Like except the end there, obviously, but like okay, we got a little bit of here, little tidbits, He loves Michael Jackson, she's killed a bunch of Hashira.
But they all do. They all do. So like that's kind of I just don't feel like we really learned. Like even the last guy from the Mugen Train arc, he loved Michael Jackson too. Everyone that we've seen up to this point loves Michael Jackson. So
well, us too.
Even if you don't watch Demon Slayer, you probably like Michael Jackson. So this isn't news, So you're right. It's a little bit of a slower episode. Let's move on here to, I can't believe I'm saying it, the final episode of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, episode 12. 23 in total, I believe, right?
Yeah, because this one was 12, the previous one was 11.
So that's it for a while. That's Mushoku Tensei, man. What did you make of this week's episode? A little bit of a slower episode, but I thought it was perfect to send off this first season of Mushoku Tensei. I thought it was a fantastic ending, but hey, that's no fucking surprise. I always sing the praise of this show. So what'd you make of it, Germs?
Oh, I absolutely loved what they did here, because like in the manga, it kind of just like jumped to the next arc in kind of a way. So I was like, okay, maybe we'll get a little bit of like start of there, or like maybe like a cliffhanger or like where the next arc starts off or something like that. But no, this is way better. This is way better than that. This is way better.
So let me ask: is this I don't want to say like anime original content, but is this kind of bridging the gap between arcs, whereas in the manga it just cuts straight away to the next arc?
Yeah, basically, to me, from what I remember, that's like it kind of just like he was kind of depressed, and then bam, it went to the next arc, right into it.
Well, if that's the case, then I definitely agree with you. I like this more. I like it sort of, and
including a lot of things. as well, and like not a concluding, but like bringing Lhasa
It doesn't
together.
conclude, but it wraps around because you see all the people that Dead End has interacted with.
Actually,
I
seeing
mean, the
him
whole list.
surprising.
If you,
I was so surprised
yeah,
to see. I'm like, I'm then like, for a second I'm like, who? And then I just remember like, oh, it's those people that he helps out with, and like, oh, that's how they're doing.
exactly,
Literally
exactly.
everyone
Like
we know.
the cat girls. Yeah, like the cat girls, the guy, the dude obsessed with the figures, the guy who's calling him boss. Like it sort of encapsulates the first season really well. And what I was gonna say, like Rudy, I love when this show. So like even if this is anime original content, I loved what they did here. I love that I love the connection with this isekai back to the previous world,
That's so
and
important.
that's what it did this episode. It showed, like I said, it feels like a real isekai. It's not just like, okay, this protagonist is just in another world.
That's
Get
it.
used to it,
That's
you
it.
know.
No
That's
real
it.
world.
It doesn't
What's the real
really.
world again? I don't know. I'm in this new
You
world
don't need.
here.
Yeah, it has no bearing on the actual narrative. In Mushoku Tensei, it does, and you get to see him sort of relapse back to a place that he felt being bullied. And you know, I don't know if this is because I actually read this in another manga one time and I was disgusted by it. I don't know if this is a Japanese thing or not. I mean, I'm sure it's not super common, but maybe it happens more over there. But this whole idea of being stripped naked and people watching you and taking pictures of you, I mean, that's
That's
just
next
so
level
disturbing.
bullying. That's like
That's so next. Like I've never heard of that or seen that, or I didn't even know that was a thing until I read this manga as a kid. I picked it up, read that, and I was like seriously scarred for life. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I'm sure I could find it if I looked hard enough. And I always thought to myself, I don't ever want to read or watch something with that. That's just like a little too intense. Here we have Mushoku Tensei. It's a little intense, you know. It kind of brings me back to that, but I'm fine with it because it's such a good story and
they're
it
doing it in a
actually
good way.
serves the story. Yeah, like the manga I read, it was just to make a character sympathetic, and I'm like, this was overboard. Here, it hurts to see, but it really fits.
You feel
It
it.
really
He
helps
feels
put the
it.
pieces together for Rudy's character, and I think incorporating, you know, kind of showing him moping around and showing him moping around in the
Days on
previous
end.
life. Such a great connection, dude. Such a great connection. And to see him leave in, I don't remember if it was the final frame or one of the final frames, Rudy gets up from his bed in this world, walks up, and then in the background is his fat former self. So he gets up and metaphorically and physically, what we're seeing on the screen is him walking away, getting up and leaving that cycle of being depressed and being in your head and, you know, moping around. So like it's so good, dude. I don't have to say this, but
Yeah.
this is so contender for anime of the year, dude. Like this was such a
And
great
you got some Roxy
experience
for
to.
you.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Roxy, dude. Finally, I really wanted to see this. And so she meets with the demon lord. Like you said, all these, it's not like an episodic series where we kind of go on quest after quest after quest and like, you know, like the main characters might get built up, but
Everyone else is like,
everyone
oh,
else
whatever.
during those quests, well, yeah, they get swept up, you know, in the past. And there's plenty of series like that and they're great, but this one, when you meet a new character, you'll probably see them again.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They might not be the most
And growing,
they might
like
not
they're doing something like
something.
like I think in Sony Isekai, it's like when side characters are not with the main protagonists, they don't, you know, they kind of go in limbo stasis. You know, they don't, nothing changes.
Yep.
But with Jobless, things are always changing in the background. People are, you know, it's like
Yeah.
it feels a living, breathing world. You know, it's like it's wild.
And that's what I keep saying. I feel like I'm a part of this world. When they reference continents, I'm like, oh yeah, that continent. Like you're in this world. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. It gives the characters more meaning and more life to them. That they're not just, you know, there to serve the plot. You're gonna see them again. You know, they come back. They actually have importance. You know what I mean? So Roxy, you know, long story short, she gets in touch with the demon lord again, and I love her entrance.
Ruchika,
You
I think her
know,
name
like
is
the
something like that.
flashy,
One with a K.
yeah,
I
and
don't know.
yeah, and they use the same animation from when she introduced herself to Rudius. So I love that. I just love consistency in shows. And so Roxy basically asks, she gets a favor from the demon lord. She basically finds out where Rudy's mother is, where his father is, and then kind of where Rudy is too, she tells her. But one thing that I have said about Mushoku Tensei, and it's not really a downfall, it's just me being nitpicky. The show doesn't really set up a lot. Like an episode will end and it's like, okay, cool, I'm ready for next week, but I don't really know where it's going to go. This was a great season finale of setting up what's to come, because now we know what's to come. The focus is going to be on finding Rudy's mother, and we don't really see her. Even the demon lord couldn't really see her with her eye, like, but she knows that she's alive, and so that's the direction that the show's going to go. And I want to see the big titted mom again. I really liked her when she was around.
Well, and it she had some nice scenes. She even had some nice scenes in here.
Yes,
like wow, I didn't expect to see Zenith in here.
Yeah, like a flashback, and it didn't feel like a forced flashback. Like, it was nice. It fit the tone of the episode. It wasn't like a retcon or something weird that they just throw in to make you feel sympathetic for her. It fit the story. You know what I mean? And it's almost like Rudy heard her speaking to him, right? Or maybe it was a dream that woke him up. I mean, just so good, dude. So good. Like, I didn't really have high expectations for a season finale because the show has done so much for me already, but of course, I mean, they never let off the gas. They've already, gone past the finish line, and it's like, they're just
victory
doing another lap for fun.
Victory lap.
It's a little victory lap. Like, there's no reason to start breaking. I mean, they're just having fun at this point, They're not racing against anyone. They're already in the lead. Even when it's not the most jam-packed, crazy episode, it's still so good, dude. Even when they're not following the manga, as you said, it's still so good. Every time they just continue to impress. Anything that you want to talk about in particular?
Just a little bit, because we had some comments from last week talking about some stuff. So I'm like, ooh, like the way they kind of ended, like I think they can perfectly add in like a movie or something, because like the next arc kind of like is kind of a jump, spoiler, I guess. But so it's like, okay,
oh, like a time skip.
Yeah, so it's like, okay. But apparently there's a lot of, like, in the light novel, there's like a whole arc that wasn't in the manga. So maybe I can see them going right into that, because they didn't go into that next arc right away. So maybe they're leaving it open possibly to doing that arc in some way. I don't know.
You guys know me. I'll take a movie. I'll fucking take a movie any day with this shit. It could be the most generic shonen type of movie where it's a fucking side quest that has no meaning on the story.
Going to a dungeon or something.
I'll take a movie, man. I'll take anything they fucking give
I don't want to know what they can do with the
willing...
movie budget. I don't even want to know.
I assume, because we had Mushoku Tensei all of 21. I know that Studio Bind was created just for the show, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get any Mushoku Tensei in 22 and probably starts back up in 23. I'm perfectly fine with that, man. They gave me such a good product. I'm not even gonna complain. I do have a question for you. I got 2 questions for you. Eris, so the big reveal of her leaving is that she just wants to train and get stronger for Rudy. I mean, again, this is me nitpicking, but kind of underwhelming. I thought that she would possibly be forced to get married to that one guy, or
I thought you said that last week.
Maybe she.
I was sitting there. I was like, oh no, he's so off the base today. But you obviously didn't know.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's part of the fun and speculating, right? I didn't say for sure. Yeah. I thought that was what was happening. I was just saying that they hinted at that, and it could have been a possibility. I didn't put the money on it, though. I didn't put the money on it, but I am surprised that it wasn't that, or maybe like she fucked Rudy and she wasn't ready for sex. I thought it would be something a little more deep, but it's just like, oh, she just wants to get stronger. Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's like a typical
she's still a child as well,
type of thing.
They're still both children.
I get that,
but
I get that. I thought it was like her running away from something, and it's just her going to train.
Because always saw was Rudy perspective. So like, he was so depressed from it. So like, oh, it had to been some big reason, but just miscommunication. She obviously wasn't the best communicating about her feelings.
No, definitely not. it definitely looked like she dumped him from his perspective. But I don't know why she can't train with him, or I just feel like it could have been done differently. But I'm fine with it. It's whatever. It's not a big. I just thought it'd be a bigger reveal than what it was. I thought the heiress was really under duress or really stressed out about something, and no, she just wants to get stronger for her man's. Like, right? Is that the gist of it? She just wants to get stronger for Rudy because Rudy's always had her back and she hasn't been able to do anything for him. Is that kind of it?
Yeah, and I think it also might have been because it was like a slight it's not like it's Japanese to English, so there's always gonna be like slight mistranslation /
always.
So technically,
always.
like the note really said it was like our relationship's like imbalanced. That's what it said. Instead of incompatible, it was imbalanced.
Oh, okay. So that would make sense.
Yeah. So that's
if I read that last week, maybe I would have picked that up a little bit better. But I was thinking it was something else, but not a big deal.
Yeah, it's English to Japanese. And then I have a question. There's always even miscommunication even between. So that's how it be. That's just how it be.
Yeah. And then I had another question for you. What the fuck was that there at the end, man? I don't know what the fuck that was. They're all sitting at a table and they're talking about Rudy's skill level as a boy. And they're like, well, that's a tall tale. That's hard to believe. And she's like, no, he's really important to me. I'm like, what? Who the fuck is this character? I have no idea who that is.
Oh,
it's probably a spoiler and you don't want to tell me, or maybe it's not a big deal and you can tell me. But I was like very, I don't know if that leads into the next season, or I don't know what that was. I was intrigued when I saw that.
Well,
is it someone I'm not remembering? Am I supposed to know who that was?
Technically, yes, but it's because you don't know. Like, if you just change one thing, you would be able to easily tell who it is. But
yeah. So should I not know? Like, don't tell me for now, and I'll figure it out next season.
Yeah, you'll figure it out, but it's pretty. You find out really quick who it is, and it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. If you just think back,
like if I
rewatch,
if I rewatch it, will I just pick it up? Like, is the audience supposed to know who that is right now, or were they intentionally trying to make it a little unknown?
Well, if you just think of all the characters that you saw today, and just who was the one you didn't see. Or you thought you didn't see.
Okay, then I'll have to piece.
You're missing one piece. You have that one piece of the puzzle. You're forgetting where it goes.
Yeah, she just didn't look.
No, not look.
But yeah, I don't know. I had to piece that together. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll just rewatch the first season and then you'll remember.
Okay.
Something slightly changed there. So you just
okay.
The only hint I'll give you there.
All right, so that's Mushoku Tensei, man. What a fucking ride that was. We won't give a full review of it right now, but anything you want to just say about the show that we've been watching? I mean, we can't just, it's the final episode. We can't just send it off like that, just talking about the episode. Like anything to share about the experience, or did this match your expectations? Did it exceed your expectations? What'd you make of just watching it this year? Because it kind of, I mean, we had it in the winter, we have it in the fall. We had like a little bit of break, but it's kind of taken up like our whole year. Like 2021 was like a Mushoku Tensei year. You know what I mean? Like we got 2 cores of it this year. So, what do you make of it? Just final thoughts on it leaving us now.
I think just the most important thing about that Jobless has that so many shows don't have is that pacing, man. It's just so good.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
So good.
They somehow make the episode so dense while yet still so digestible. Like how is this possible? How is this so nutritious while still so delicious and light? And I'm not feeling like greasy junk food after this. It's like
they got that fake sugar in there, bro. It's perfect. Our brain thinks it's sugar, but it's not. Yeah.
It's just like, so perfect.
Yeah, the pacing is good. And the pacing is good in the manga, I assume, too, right?
Oh, well, there's some little, because reading manga, I go so fast, you don't get to really, you don't get to,
I guess that's,
smell the roses and stuff. Like, while the anime, it dictates how fast you're going to see it, which is nice, because, obviously, I wish I could just read this whole rest of the series right now. And it wouldn't feel as good as it is, having week per week, really digesting it, you can eat food as fast as you want, but did you really enjoy it, You're
not savoring the taste. You got to savor the taste. Yeah, I agree with that. That makes sense, because I guess you could just go balls to the wall and read it all quickly, but when you watch it, it forces you to watch it at a certain pace, and I think the pace has been phenomenal. even dude, the animation, like it kept up, dude.
Yeah, nothing ever let down.
I don't. When? Like, was there ever a time where it's like, oh, that shit looks choppy? Like this week's episode was a little choppy. I don't like ever remember it like the music was phenomenal. It just it never disappointed. That's the best way I could describe Mushoku Tensei. As someone who's not super huge into fantasy, I'm certainly not huge into isekai, and it completely won me over. So very, very sad to see Mushoku Tensei leave, but we do have a special coming up where we're going to be talking about this year's anime, and I believe Mushoku Tensei might be discussed. So
maybe, just maybe,
keep your maybe, just maybe. We don't coordinate what we're going to be talking about, but I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it a little bit. So keep on the lookout for that. We actually have a special coming out this week. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode. All right. Let's get into My Senpai is Annoying, episode 11. We have one more to go before this first season is done with Senpai. What did you make of this week's episode?
Yeah, we got one scene this week, James, where Senpai blushed. We finally got one, James. We got one.
Did he blush?
Yeah.
Did he blush? We got the red? Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
What scene? What scene?
It was scene? During the when they were eating.
I watched it Wednesday.
Well, when they were eating, trying to remember.
Oh, she asked him what he got. She asked him what he got from the fortune.
Yeah.
Okay.
We finally got one. We finally got one scene, James. We got him. We got it. We got it, boys. We did it.
We did it. Pack him up. Yeah, I know for a fact that he was nervous and didn't want to answer the question, which is very uncharacteristic of him.
Finally.
But I didn't remember him blush. But that's good. That's good. We got. Hey, we'll take
that.
Right?
It's like just that
progression. All right, so let's talk about it. So finally, we get some screen time between them. It's taken us a little while to get here, but it's nice to see them back together with each other. I feel like the first few episodes of the season was like just them two. Mm-hmm. And then as they built up the supporting cast, it's like they kind of fell to the background. Finally, we get some Igarashi and Senpai back again. Mm-hmm. And of course, we get some Kazuma and Sakurai in there. We have to, right? We have to. And it's so good. I'm not complaining about it. I just want more of the main.
Yeah.
The main course, but of course, the Igarashi, of course, the Sakurai and Kazuma stuff is great. So, yeah, this episode is themed around New Year's. Actually appropriate because we're approaching the New Year. So, yeah, you want to talk about the content of the episode? What'd you make of it?
Yeah, it was really nice, man. Like, seeing her, like, in Yukata, walking around with him. Obviously, when Natsuki, what's her name? Natsuki, is it? Or is someone else I'm thinking of? Natsumi, I think it is. I believe. Yeah. I'll look it up. A great third wheel, man. She's a
great third wheel because she saw him there and she's like, I'm dipping the fuck out of here. I really like her character. I really like all these characters. I think this whole cast is really good.
Yeah, we just want more of the romance of the main cast. But yeah.
Not even like this is the thing. It doesn't even have to be romance. I just want stuff to happen with their relationship. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll stop sounding like a broken record and we'll get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she dips out.
Yeah, they have like a nice little ramen. Well, I guess they do the shrine. That they get their little fortunes. They're like, they're having a little debate. It's like, oh, what's the order?
I like that. Yeah. I like that.
I didn't fully understand what they were arguing about. Obviously, this Japanese thing.
I didn't either, but that's fine. It's a Japanese thing. Of course, we're not going to fully understand it, but just anything with them. The point isn't whether who's right or wrong. The point is that they're, bonding. We get to see a little bit of their personality and their character. So we don't have to understand the context. I just like seeing those little moments, and we need more of them. Mm-hmm. And then they get ramen. You know why it was good?
Why?
You know why?
I don't.
Because it's got that Naruto in it.
little extra.
That was a good reference.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show a
bowl.
They show a shot of it, and it's like, yeah, that looks like something from Ichiraku. So, yeah, I like that little homage there to Naruto.
No, Naruto is the spiral little fish cake things.
See, I just thought that they were referencing ramen, dude. Maybe I'm going too meta.
Well, they put Naruto in ramen. That's why they when they pointed it, it showed all the little Naruto pieces. Well, now
Got it. All right.
So maybe some people learned today as well.
I'm giving them too much credit, so Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so we have that, and then we have
Oof. Oh
Sakurai
yeah,
and
baby.
Kazuma.
Oh yeah.
They get on TV. They're being interviewed, and yeah, they basically like out Igarashi and Senpai, but they don't like say their names.
Yeah.
So Igarashi gets all pissed off, and
It knocks
yeah,
him
what'd you
out.
make of that? That was kind of
Knocks him the
funny.
fuck out. Oof.
Knocks him the fuck
How
out.
can someone so small reach so high? But when there's a will, there's a way.
It's anime. It's anime, I guess. It's
Yeah,
anime.
but they also had that nice
So
little scene
yeah,
before when she invited him to the into New Year's, and the little brother was another great third wheel right there as well, unknowingly.
well, he didn't even
Unknowingly.
he unknowingly he didn't even try. He was just like, I'm out of this bitch. You know, I think the stuff with Sakurai and
It's
Kazuma
too
is
perfect.
easily
It's too
better
good.
than it's too good. I think. Well, I'll save it for the special, but I really like Sakurai, and I think her on-screen chemistry with Kazuma is really better than the main couple at this point. Like it's just undeniable. Like at this point, like I really like Senpai, I really like Igarashi, but I'm kind of gravitating more towards Sakurai and Kazuma, and that's not how it should be. It's not how it should be, but that's just where all the goods are at right now. I really like seeing them talk, and they spent the night with each other. So I'm not saying they hooked up. I'm just saying like they did spend the night and wake up the next day to the New Year's. Right, they're walking and the sunlight's out, so he spent the night. So I'm just saying I'm curious about it. Just curious about
Well,
it. So
seeing her reaction just to her like almost kissing it. Well, that picture.
the
I'm
picture, I
assuming
love
probably
that. I
nothing
love
probably
that
happened, but
too.
but
It's
it's so
so
cute.
good, dude. It's so cute. It's overshadowing the main couple at this point, man. It really is.
Hmm It's so funny
So
because
yeah, I think.
the
Go ahead.
is I guess spoiler for the special, but the the volume you got me when I went to one of those pages, I'm like, oh, that's not in the anime. Look what happened. Look what happened. That scene was
Oh, oh,
that scene of her the camera one. That one I was like, oh, that's not in the anime yet, and well, I spoke too soon.
wow. So that was from the very first manga volume. That's so weird. So it's definitely out of order, but it is.
We didn't
I guess
it doesn't
it works
change.
out fine. Yeah, it works out fine for the anime. And by the way, the people don't even know what the hell you're talking about yet, but we'll get to that announcement at the end here. You guys will be seeing something come out this week. So yeah, I think that this episode was much better than last week. And final thoughts from you, Germs?
Oh, it was a good episode, but not because of the main couple, as always, unfortunately.
Yep. Well, I did want
Oh
to
yes, oh
say
yeah,
that it is
better than.
it's better. They gave them some screen time, but we shouldn't. We're at episode 11 out of 12, man. Like we
We're,
need this to pick up rapidly. Like I want the final episode next week, and this is probably asking too much, but if you could give me just something
holding
between them to
hands.
cap off this
It's in
season,
the ED. Come on, the ED is giving us more action than the show gives us.
like, and you want romance. I'm not even asking for romance. I just want I just want them to grow in their relationship, whatever their relationship is supposed to be. Whether he acknowledges her as a capable young professional
Well,
businesswoman, or maybe she, I don't know, however they want to take it. I just want I just want something to start picking up with them.
mhm.
And we're already at 11 out of 12. So we get one more.
Hopefully they make
So
it
yeah,
work. Or make
hopefully
it
they make it
worth it.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick the landing here for the season finale. All right, and let's get it to our last show on the roundup. We have Komi Can't Communicate, episode 11. This one is going to run for 12 as well, so we have one more next week. What did you make of this week's Komi?
It was I think it was maybe just because my feelings about the like student festivals, because I see it so often. But
It's a
yeah,
trope. It's a trope at this
I
point.
feel like maybe just me getting a little desensitized to seeing maid outfits and all that stuff. I was like, oh, it's a nice little episode. See Comey in a maid outfit a little bit. Our boy was a maid for a little bit as well.
Oh God, we got to talk
Uh,
about it. Dude. I actually think like, now that I'm thinking back to it, I actually think this might be my first episode of Komi that I genuinely just didn't really care for, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Immediately, I noticed that at the beginning. Listen, so this is episode 11, right? We know that the class likes Komi. And, they had the gag where they elected her god, and they've had a lot of.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been very comedic, right? But they're just going. You can only run something for so long before it starts to get stale. They're really
Yeah.
running it into the ground now. Like I put up with it for 10 weeks, but for this 11th week, it was just so much. I mean, like, so when they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for the culture festival, it's like, let's do this for Komi. No, let's do this for Komi. No, let's do this for Komi. And it's just like,
I get it.
I just feel like it defeats the purpose of Komi being so shy. Like, if everyone loves her, it's kind of like it kind of counteracts her social anxiety, to where it's like, well, why are you so shy if everyone loves you? It just doesn't blend well. And I think that they're running it into the ground. Like, even the crazy girl, she's like, I can make sausages and Komi can suck on my sausage. Like, you remember that? And then Tadano's like, don't even finish that sentence. Um, it's just so over the top. Like, these people are like, and then when they start setting up for the festival, you have Komi sitting in the king or queen chair or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and you have people bowing down to her. It's just like,
Kind of
I get it,
yeah.
guys. I get it. People like her. She's cute. Like, but
Me too.
the whole school is. I love her. I love her as a character. But the school, it's not just like admiration. Like, they're fascinated with her at this point, and I just feel like that joke is just really kind of getting stale. So we have that. Then she gets asked, who is the new character is Otori. I don't know. Is she the school president? I forget what her title was, right? But
yeah.
she goes to get like wood with Komi and I think Najimi. Was it Najimi?
Yeah.
This character is fucking stupid, and I don't know.
Oh,
Like, it's not funny. Like, she's just kind of dumb to be dumb. Like, I didn't really find her funny. I didn't really. We did get this episode. Komi kind of started to talk a little bit, like at the end
she's
there.
improving.
Walking back to
That's
yeah,
our
so
girl.
that's kind of cool. But what was this character is just kind of, I didn't really see any value in this character. The character was just kind of dumb and stupid just to be dumb and stupid. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm sure that she might serve a purpose later on, but the supporting cast in the show isn't really, you kind of meet them and then they're just in the background, and that's fine. But I'm not really interested in seeing a slow character just for the sake of being slow. It doesn't. There's nothing wrong with people that are like that. It's just, I don't know what she adds to the show, or I feel like she's just, they just made her dumb to be dumb, and that's kind of I don't want to say offensive, but it's just kind of pointless. I don't know. I just don't know why they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then they have the festival. They're like maids. You have the otaku guy. I thought he was kind of funny.
Yeah,
he was like,
kind of reminded me
seeing
of the
him was kind of
the Kaguya episode with the ramen guy. Oh, not the episode, but the like skit with the ramen shop guy.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was funny, but it is a random character and it is for comedic purposes, so it's not really anything too memorable unless he shows up again. If they actually make a new character out of him, that'd be funny. Like, maybe he only shows up to festivals or certain, things around the city. That'd be cool. So, but and then Tadano. Let's get into Tadano. So he dresses as a maid. There's kind of a cute moment there. Komi's like, he's like, do I look good? He's like, or he probably says something like, I probably look dumb, right? And she's like, no, you don't, which I think is weird because she likes him for how he is. I think she said
cute, I think.
Yeah, so it kind of takes away from their brewing romance, right? Because she likes him for him. And now he's kind of putting on, they could have had a good moment where she's like, no, I like you for you. Like, you don't need to be a maid or anything else. But she's just like, yeah, you're cute. And then, like, her family comes and sees him. His sister,
that's hilarious.
Sees him. She's like, Mom, Oni-chan is he's weird or dressing like a girl, or I forget. Oh, she called him a transvestite in my translation. I'm like, damn, that was harsh language for an anime. So I get it's a fan sub. I get it, but that's harsh language. So I don't know, man. I feel like this is the first bad episode of Komi. Like, I was really watching this kind of like, eh, the Komi as a god thing is stale. I don't really care for the new character. The festival, like you, didn't really do any. It didn't even feel like a festival. It just felt like a Komi love fest, you know? So that's my rant. I don't hate the show. I just didn't really care for this week's episode. And I keep it real. I never lie, you know? Just because I like the show doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and say I like every single episode. So I just didn't really like this week's episode. That's how I feel.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm a little different on is that new character. I kind of like their like the character a little bit. I didn't see it as harshly as you saw, surprisingly, but
I wish that there was something else to her personality. I wish that there was just something, because a lot of these supporting casts, they have like a one-dimension personality. Like, here's the Chunibo or whatever you call it, the girl who is dramatic. Here's the girl who wants to be a pet dog. Here's the ninja guy. Here's I just want there to be a little bit more to them, And I just found the character annoying on screen, So, but if there was more to her, I'd probably like her, But she was just kind of ditzy to be ditzy, I don't know. If she was ditzy and there was a reason for it, or there was something more going on, I'd probably like it. But I don't know. It was whatever. I just didn't really care for it. Yeah. Yeah. So, final thoughts on this week's Komi.
Yeah, it was kind of just like a meh episode. Like, there's some nice little scene, like very slight, like her talking a little bit.
Komi talked a little bit. She talked like twice, because she talked on the way back to school, and then she also talked to I think Otaku guy, right? She tried to say like thank you or something like that. So a little bit of development with Komi. That's good.
Yeah, that's all that was, unfortunately.
I really want next week's season finale to hit it out of the park or do something. Not like this week's episode. Give me something good, especially between Tadano and Komi, dude. They're building that shit up. It's time to give us a little, something before we have to wait for season 2. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's going to be our weekly roundup. And as always, we got to get into the winner. Who is your winner of the week, Germs?
Oh man, this feels illegal, man. It's like it's just too easy, I know. But
too easy,
it
but soon it won't be like that.
Yeah,
anymore,
next week, now we're gonna have a little bit of challenge. Now everyone is gonna have a chance to beat Jobless, because as Jobless is.
Whoa! I thought you were gonna say Komi. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, it's gotta be Mushoku Tensei. It's gotta be Jobless. Jobless is just, as we said, as we sing the praises every week. Too good.
It's just too good.
And I really liked this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it.
Great way to end the season.
Right, that's great way to end the season. And next week we'll have the end of Komi and Senpai. So I'm curious to see how they end those two shows off.
Because I feel like they've been pretty even a little bit. Maybe a little bit more Senpai, but then Komi can come in right at the end here. Let's see how it ends next week.
They're pretty even for me. I think Senpai is probably doing a little bit better job right now. A little bit.
We'll see.
But Komi's the main duo of Komi, like Komi and Tadano, as opposed to Igarashi and Senpai.
Oh yeah, that's
the
totally...
relationship between Tadano and Komi is definitely more interesting and more fun than Igarashi's relationship. But then you got to balance that with Kazuma and Sakurai, and it's like, whoa, this is a little hard to compete, So yeah, guys and gals, the weebs out there, comment down below what was your favorite episode of the week. Does not have to be from our roundup. It could be anything anime fall 2021 that you watched this week. Let us know down below. If you agree with us, disagree with us, we would love to hear from you guys. All right. With that, now we get into the real spice of the episode. We're going to do something different, not anime related. We actually, we reviewed Mortal Kombat, so that was like our first dabble into some non-weeb stuff. But hey, we're nerds in general. Spider-Man Peter Parker is my favorite fictional character of all time. I'm sure when the Sonic movie comes out, that's Germs' favorite character of all time. We'll definitely talk about that Sonic movie when that comes out. But we're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Just real quick, just a one sentence. Did you like this movie, Germs?
Oh yeah, it was fantastic, especially as a fan of Spider-Man. That's it. Bam.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, there's nothing really to say. If you're watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you like Spider-Man, then you're gonna see this movie. If you're not interested in any of that, there's literally no point in us reviewing a movie for you that you have to watch a ton of other movies to see. So, if you just want to know how we feel, I freaking loved it. Germs liked it too. So we're big fans of it. If you just want to know how we feel. But with that aside, we're definitely going to get into spoilers. Long story short, too long didn't read. We love the film. This is just going to be an open spoiler discussion. We have nothing planned. We're just going to talk about our experience. I want to hear how he ended up at the theater. I'll talk about how I ended up at the theater. We'll talk about our history with Spider-Man and just overall, just No Way Home spoiler discussion. So if you don't want to see any of that, click away or slide to the news. And if you maybe you're like, hey, I'm just a weeb, I don't give a shit about this stuff, then yeah, you can listen to us talk, I guess. Just know that you're gonna get spoiled. All right, so No Way Home. This is the trilogy for the Marvel Cinematic Universe featuring Tom Holland. What have you seen up until this point? Real quick, because you weren't fully caught up, were you, Germs?
Well, technically, I was technically
with Spider-Man.
I've seen everything. Just it's been so long since I've seen the original trilogy.
Well, you have the original trilogy. You have
the
Amazing Spider-Man. Did you see both of those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so then you saw Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't see Far From Home, is that right?
Yeah.
Technically, you know how it ends. It's this movie picks up right where Far From Home leaves off, but you didn't see Far From Home, but you at least know how it ends.
Yeah,
right?
I was talking to friends with like the whole plot on that one, and then just a refresher on the original ones, just in case. I was like, just in case, like let's do a little let's talk about all the original trilogy and the amazing ones, just real quick, and then that kind of paid off obviously a little bit with this one, if you've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, spoiler discussion. As you know, with the trailers, all the villains come back. This is the multiverse concept. I think it's pretty crazy. I actually, just before we even get into this, I saw Far From Home today. I was catching my pops up on it, and a lot of people don't really like it as much as some of the other films, but I think it holds up for what it is. It's a different, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is
Fantastic.
Tony Stark driven, and it's different than the normal Peter Parker story. Like his suit's all techie, and people bag on him for certain things, but if you can get into it, I think Far From Home is just as good. They go to Europe, they fight Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
I assume he's a bad guy from the comics, so
yeah,
he outs him at the end there. And holy crap, man, what a hell of a movie! So let's just get into it. Toby and Andrew
beautiful,
are back,
fantastic.
Okay, so I've seen all the leaked images. Do you even know about the leaked images?
Nope, I just had a good. I just had a feeling. I'm like, they put all the old, like, especially bringing the exact actors of Doc Ock and the voice of William Dafoe. I was like,
Willem Dafoe came back, not just the voice.
Oh yeah,
he's in the role.
Yeah. So I was like, I saw I think I thought just the first trailer where it had just the laugh. So I was like,
just the voice.
So I was
when I heard his laugh, I'm like, okay, he's in the movie. You can't have his laugh and not have him in the movie. So I knew he was going to be in it.
Yeah.
I was worried about Sandman and the Lizard. I was like, shit, are they just going to have them CGI'd the whole time? Thank God they at least show the actors a little bit, Risa Fons and Thomas Hayden Church, because it would feel weird if they were just CGI'd the whole time. But the main ones are like Willem Dafoe, God, what's his name? Alfred Molina is Doc Ock, and Jamie Foxx is Electro. Just fucking Jamie Foxx. Electro looks so much better than Tasm too. I hated him as a blue guy. But so we knew the villains were coming back, but we didn't know that the Spider-Men were coming back. But there was leaked images online, and a lot of debate surfaced about whether they were real or not. They absolutely were. They absolutely were. And so Ned has Doctor Strange's ring, right? So he opens a portal and he asks for Spider-Man. Dude, I cannot tell you my fucking reaction when I saw this, because off in the distance, because I'm fresh on these movies, right? I watch these movies all the time. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. So I see that like Andrew's in an alleyway, right? And I see his eyes, and I'm like, those are not Tom Holland's eyes. And no one else in the theater caught it. But as soon as I saw that, I started like uncontrollably going like this. And then as Andrew Garfield starts walking closer, you can tell it's his suit. Everyone started going nuts, dude. I even screamed. I was like, yeah, I couldn't help it, dude. Because if they're going to bring back Andrew Garfield, they're definitely going to bring back Tobey Maguire. So as soon as I saw Andrew, I'm like, they're doing it,
and
man.
then they're like, Ned was like, let me try that again. And it's like, oh yeah, we know we're about to get right now.
Yep. So good. And I just love seeing all three of them together, man. You know the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other? They fucking recreated it in the lab. So good. They weren't in their Spider-Man costumes, but they're all pointing at each other. Like, so many little references for all the Spidey fans out there, man. Green Goblin, you know, they're talking and he's like, I'm something of a scientist myself. Anyone who's seen that meme or seen the first movie is like, yeah, that's the line. Doc Ock is Alfred Molina. He we assume that they don't die and the timeline they just get transported because all these guys all died, right? So he's when he first shows up, he's like, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. That's what he said a lot in the second movie. He says it the same exact way this movie. I feel like it's been 17 years or something like that. I feel like no time has passed. Like, he looks different, but he fucking sounds the same, dude. Willem Dafoe with his teeth, with his goblin laugh, his sort of you know, the goblin serum when he starts to go crazy and pretends that he can't remember it, or doesn't pretend, but like he can't remember being taken over by the goblin. Again, all of these years have passed, but it's almost like no time has passed at all. They get right back into their roles, man. So fucking good. So fucking good. Yeah, I mean, where do you want to take this? I mean, I thought it was fantastic. This was a love letter to all the Spidey fans out there, man. I've been a Spider-Man fan forever, and this was like, it had a lot of fan service, but the fan service served the plot. It wasn't just there.
Like,
it was so good, dude.
And like, you know, just the way that they like, you know, talk to each other, like, oh, you know, like, oh, well, I guess it's spoiler sections. It's like, oh, like
it's a spoiler section. Get right into
it. It's like, oh, you know, Aunt May's died. You know, you wouldn't know how it feels. And then like Tom Holland. What's the second Spider-Man? I forget his name. Always the amazing
Andrew
Garfield. He's like, you know, he kind of tears up. He's, you know, my it was Gwen, right? His Gwen that died.
Gwen. Yeah.
He's like, you know, I know how.
By the way, real quick, did you catch? So you saw that movie? Did you catch it when he caught Mary Jane?
Oh yeah, and he cried.
Sorry, Michelle Jones, and he's like, he's all happy that he finally caught the girl because in his universe he didn't catch her. Again, just so many beautiful moments like that. I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, but go on. So, yeah, he mentions that Gwen died, and then Toby mentions that Uncle Ben died. Right? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like, you know, it happens unfortunately to the Spideys, but you know, he's like, you know, we came back, you know, and look at us now, you know. It's like, oh.
Yeah, even though they have different personalities, they can still relate to being Peter Parker, and that's so fucking cool, man. Mm-hmm. That's just so cool.
Like, you know? Like they all just, you know, they're all Peter Parker. You know, they might not, you know, have the exact same, you know, backstory and stuff, but like, as you know, as people, you know, they just want to help out people that, you know, they care about, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's great. Like, when I think back to this movie, how many hours ago? How many hours ago? It feels like years. God, how many hours ago did I see this? And I can't believe what I watched. We watched a live action Spider-Verse film, man. Like, that's just crazy. Like, everyone was crazy about Endgame and Infinity War. Like, this was my Endgame, dude, for me personally. And I nothing to take away from Endgame, but this was my Endgame. Like, dude, I've been a Spider-Man fan. I was watching Spider-Man before I could even talk, dude, before I could even form sentences. Like the 90s cartoon, which I actually watched an episode the other day. That shit kind of, like, it's dated, but I'm like, oh shit, I remember that as a kid, man. Just such a love letter to all the fans. Here's a book I have. I've had this for 20 years, Sherms. 20 years. This is the ultimate guide. I wonder when this came out. I think it probably came out. I think it came out in 2000, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, here, let me get this on camera.
So it's like a little
basically,
history.
it just goes through all the important stuff in the comics. So, like, here, let me get to like a decent villain. These are all Spider Slayers. Here's a page on the Sinister Six.
The classics.
Which we didn't get this movie, but we got like a Sinister Five kinda. And it just goes through and talks about them. Is that picking up?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like a lot of my Spider-Man knowledge as a kid. Like I literally had this book when I was like 4 or 5, was because I wasn't reading, like comics are a little too sophisticated to read at that age, and they're so fucking hard to keep up with anyways. Most of my knowledge about Spider-Man and his universe really came from this book. There's the classic Green Goblin. By the way, Willem Dafoe is like the perfect actor to ever play Green Goblin. I'm so happy that they brought back his old look and then like a new look too. You know what I mean? Like, because then he had the goggles off and like he had like a little bit of the purple and the green. But
just like I loved like every character kind of got a little spotlight or talk. Like even the Sandman, like, you know, talked a little bit to, you know, what's it called, the Electro and that kind of stuff. It's like they didn't skimp on just like, oh, you know, just doing it real quick and being over. It's like
I was so worried about that. I was so worried that all of this multiverse stuff would just kind of be like cameos. I feel like every character got their due justice. I mean,
even Electro,
the Lizard and Sam. Yeah, even Electro. The main three were definitely Electro, Goblin, and Doc Ock. Sandman and the Lizard were a little bit in the background, but
I think Lizardman was probably the most background of them all.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, 5 villains. How are you going to juggle 5 villains in one movie?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I totally get
and
it.
And 3 Spider-Mans,
I'm not mad.
And, you know, Doctor Strange.
It's a lot to juggle, but they did it. I feel like they did it really well. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy how they were somehow to get all these like and then the friends as well. It's like and May and Aunt May. It's like how did they somehow do this? But they did. They did it somehow. Like how like you list all these characters, like, oh yeah, how are they gonna build a relationship between Aunt May and Peter Parker, and then see how that progresses, him with his friends, now that he's out as Spider-Man, how has that changed the relationship, and then and
it totally changes it. Some people were thinking, because you know how the MCU is like really funny, like really comedic, like because it's kind of like PG-13 movies for kids.
Oh yeah,
some people thought, oh, he's outed as Spider-Man. People are gonna forget. It's just played for a laugh. It's just kind of a comedic thing.
This is huge.
Nah, this movie was huge. It took that very seriously. I was worried about that. I'm like, are they kind of just gonna make it like a stupid joke, like they do with a lot of their jokes? No, this
big.
Him being outed, it changes his entire life. It changes the life of his friends. Changes the life of Aunt May. They can't even live in their apartment. They have to go get a place with Happy. Jon Favreau is fantastic in this movie as always.
Yeah, even he,
I found him to be.
Yeah, you think he'd have more comedic moments, but like in some of the later scenes, it's like, damn,
he did. But what I want to say is, Far From Home had way too many comedic moments. Like something serious would be going on, then insert joke, like kill the moment, and it's like, dude, you could have let that ride, and it'd be like a really good moment. But it's Marvel. They like force a lot of humor. The humor in this one was like perfect. Like it's there, but it didn't feel like they let scenes be meaningful and not kill them with a stupid little, joke about witches or, just all the stuff that people don't like about the previous Spider-Man films, like Aunt May dies and it's coming, especially after she says, with great power comes great responsibility. Because Uncle Ben hasn't been referenced in this universe at all. Never even like mentioned at all. So now we know why, because she serves as the Uncle Ben. She's the one that tells him, with great power comes great responsibility. And as she's laying in his arms, it's kind of like 50-50 if she'll survive. But as soon as she says that, as a Spider-Man fan, she's going to die. It's not a question of if she's going to live or not. It's now a question of like, how long is she going to live? Like, it's sad. It's like, it's the fate. Like, you know, the car. It's like you click on a YouTube video called "car crash," and you know it's going in slow motion, but you know the crash is coming. You know, and that makes the death even not better. I don't want to see her die, but it makes the death more meaningful. Like, fuck, man, that hit hard. You know?
Especially when he was talking about, like, you know, way earlier, like when he was like, oh, you know, he was like, oh, it's their like Dr. Stone was like, oh, it's their fate to die, you know, like, you know, let's just, you know, send them back, and, you know, and then Tom Holland was like, no, you know, we can change fate, you know, all that kind of stuff, but little does he know, when Mont May says, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, he doesn't know that's fate, that she's about to die right now, but like we know, it's like,
oh, we know,
yeah, we
and
know
that's
that
what makes it so tragic. Have you played the Spider-Man PS4 video game?
Yeah.
You played a little bit, right? Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished that like the first day.
You went hard on it. Remember Doc Ock in that game? By the way, I think that storyline is like fantastic. If you can give me a movie of that shit, that'd be the best adaptation of Spider-Man. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I'm a huge Spidey fan. I feel like that game understands Spider-Man so well, but like Doc Ock, like you know how like Peter's like training under him. We all know that he's gonna get the arms and turn evil, and so that's what makes it like a tragic relationship. Like, we're watching him, and Peter's like studying under him, and really cares for him, and he gets his research stripped from Osborn. Remember, they come to his place and say, "Hey, your funding's done," because he's like the mayor or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, the point I'm trying to get at is it makes knowing that he's going to turn evil makes it so much more tragic, because we really like him for who he is now. You know what I mean? It's like if you watch Romeo and Juliet or something, like, you know they're going to die, but, or like the Titanic, you know they're going to die, but you still like the romance while it's alive. It makes it more tragic. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they really did that such fantastic in this movie here. Like, I just don't know how they were able to fit so many different storylines and different messages and you know, and the references. It's like, how can they fit all this in one?
Dude, the references were off the chart, man. There's so many freaking references in this.
And yet they're able
to
incorporate them so well while still having some meaningful moments and that kind of stuff. It's like, damn, they just did it.
They did it. And yeah, so Peter has to make a choice to do the right thing. By the way, I know some people are going to think, well, why would he want to save the villains? That's so dangerous. But
this is what he does.
That's what Peter Parker would do. That's like the past two movies, Homecoming and Far From Home, like Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's been like he's a young kid, right? Like, he's the youngest Spider-Man.
Yeah, the youngest we've ever seen him.
So he's a little bit more naive, and he's a little bit more uncomfortable, and he's not like confident in being Spider-Man. Like, this film, as I was watching, I'm like, that's Spider-Man. Like, that he is finally grown in. He's no longer Iron Man boy junior. Like, he's now grown into the role of Spider-Man. Like, he's become Spider-Man in this film. You know what I mean?
He was a Spider-Boy before.
No longer a boy.
Yeah, Spider-Boy.
Now he's Spider-Man. He has graduated, and I love to see that. You know what I mean? Because people hate on the other two because, you know, he's a little wimpy and not confident, and
yes, he has the jokes. This one,
yeah. I mean, he just takes the mantle. It feels like he really becomes Spider-Man in this film, and I appreciate that. And so, yeah, he makes the choice of everyone forgetting him, dude.
Oh my god,
which is
so big.
That's what Spider-Man would do, but that's such a mature, like, that just shows you the progression of Tom Holland's character. Like, he, you know, he's kind of selfish. Like, in Far From Home, he doesn't want to fight all the villains because he just wants to hang out with MJ. In this movie, he kind of wants people to forget who he is because he couldn't get into MIT and his friends couldn't get into MIT. Like, but he's kind of naive and selfish, but
through the movie,
he eventually grows into. Through the movie, he grows into a young man that's more confident and capable, and he becomes a hero. I mean, he really becomes a hero at this point. He's no longer just like the boy with the Avengers. Like, he's like, yeah, it's a difficult decision, but we have to do it to save the world. Yeah, have everyone forget who I am.
And just like everything after that was just so fantastic. Like, you know, him
so like, fantastic.
You know, obviously every record of everything that about Peter Parker is gone. So it's like, He's
Wiped.
like, oh,
Yeah.
well, time to get, I didn't really, I was doing all this Avenger stuff. And so it's like, okay, time to get my GED, you know, he's living in this like shitty ass apartment, because he's got to get a job. But it's like
much, much better than Toby's apartment, I gotta say. But yeah, still like not the best apartment. But if you remember Toby's apartment was fucking god awful, dude. But I love those. But that's who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
He's not the richest guy.
Yeah, because like
his character.
Before it's like, oh yeah, I have this fabrication machine that makes anything I ever want, or like I'm living in this crazy high security apartment. Or I have this crazy suit, it's like all high tech suit, but now he's just he's in friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Now he's a normal Spider-Man.
Which is normal.
Now he's a normal Spider-Man.
He made his own suit. He's living in a shitty apartment. He's getting his his cup of Joe. He's living the Spider-Man life now.
And I think the new suit looks so incredible, dude. I love it. I don't have a problem that his suit was made by Stark, but it's not Spider-Man, dude. Like it's just not. That's like Iron Man Boy Jr. Like it wasn't really his. He wasn't his own hero. At the end of this movie, he is his own. He's grown into his own role. You know what I mean? Like he's not Spider-Man because he has all this tech.
Or following
he's Spider-Man
because someone told him to.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man now because he has the ability and he has the responsibility to be. So he makes his own suit. He's not just has a suit now and hey, look at me, I can fight crime. Like he's now actively choosing to be Spider-Man, and that's mature, like he's I can't say enough how much I love the evolution of his character. And yeah, he visits Ned and MJ, dude. And he sees that they're doing well and they don't remember him. And he kind of like he's like, okay, like he gets his coffee and he leaves, and he probably wants to hug her and kiss her and hey, I'm Peter, I'm blah 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 blah, but he realizes that's she's having a
list for. He was like, okay, I'm just gonna it's me, Peter Parker, I know everything about you,
but he puts it in the pocket because he slowly realizes that she's doing fine without him, Ned's doing fine without him, and maybe it's better that he doesn't bring maybe it's not good to upset their world, you know what I mean? And again, that's just a mature thing to do, like
do it the natural way.
He could be selfish. Well, he could be selfish and try to win back her love, or he could love her from a distance and realize that he could, how do I say this? He could let her live her life and still care for her without upsetting her life. You know what I mean? So previously he'd probably go crazy and hey, I'm so and so, and
I know everything about
you. In this movie, he's much more mature in this movie. So he realizes that no, like it's better to leave her alone for right now. And that's, again, I just love the evolution of his character, man. They fucking did it with this movie. They did it. And so fucking good. How was your theater? Were they like clapping and cheering and shit?
Yeah,
because mine was.
Oh yeah. Did your theater have the like extended like view where like you'd be like?
Did you see it in IMAX?
No, I just saw just like a normal theater, but it had like also like
I saw it in IMAX.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because the one I went to, it had like it was showing like extra like like a triple monitor, but it was like triple monitor, but like on the walls. Like
on the sides of the walls,
they had they like it was just literally like ultra wide. It's like you would see like it's not during every scene, but like during the action scenes, it was insane.
Really?
Yeah, it was the first time I ever seen. It's like, wait a second, it's like, ooh, I have an ultra wide thing here. Yeah, it was really wild.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it in IMAX, and in IMAX the screen's wider already, and it curves in. And instead of looking down at it, you're like in the center of it, kind of like the screen, as opposed to like looking down. So I didn't notice it, but that's crazy that the standard viewing has like extra.
I think it had been like a special like one of the rooms or something, because like I remember like the movie started, like I saw just like they just had projectors, and I'm like, wait a second, there's like three. It's like 3 screens now. But it was only during like the action scenes where like it didn't really add much.
They used it.
Yeah. It didn't really add much, but like it was like, oh, okay, I get like oh, okay, that's interesting. Experimenting a little bit here, it seems.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Ooh, that's a tough one. But Tom Holland's, obviously just if you'd have said before this one, it'd be like, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire. But like, just how well our boy during this last movie was, it's like he's not just it's not just given all this like he's a man now. He's a man.
He grew into the role. He grew into the role. I really like to see that. I'm Team Tobes always. It's just too classic for me. I love the Raimi trilogy, but I gotta say this is definitely the best Tom Holland movie. Definitely, definitely. I think you'd agree with that, right?
And I think,
well, you've only seen Homecoming.
yeah,
You liked it more than Homecoming, right?
yeah. Yeah, and I just like to like it even improves like the other Spider-Mans, because like now they were able to talk to their the villains and help them out.
Yeah, and you know what it made me realize? I really miss Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, man, because he didn't get a third movie. We only got 2 with him, and seeing him, because he was like really like he was like really happy to be there with the other Spider-Man. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, cool, I get to talk to the other Spider-Man. And in recent interviews, I don't know if you've seen this, Andrew Garfield has been denying that they keep asking him. He's like, I'm not in the movie. I swear I'm not in the movie. Here he is. He's in the movie. So he's been lying for like months, dude. But watching him on screen, I'm like, damn, I kind of miss Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, because he didn't get the love that Toby or Tom Holland's got, because he only got 2 movies. So yeah, where do you think they go from here? Because the whole Sony Marvel thing, right? Because Sony technically owns Spider-Man, and they're only leasing him out to Marvel Studios, right? You know about all that drama and shit, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think they do now? Do you think they continue with Tom Holland and like he's a new Spider-Man that everyone's forgotten, or a new Spider-Man, but everyone forgot about Peter?
Like a soft reboot a bit.
Kind of. Like, do you think they continue with that, or what do you think they do from here?
It's a tough one, but I think they would probably continue to here. I don't know who the villain would be, really. Maybe a new
Craven. I think they do Craven.
Who's Craven? Oh, I don't know.
Or
damn,
don't say that. Don't say that. He's a good villain. Or Tom Hardy's Venom. Did you get that at the end?
Yeah.
Because you haven't seen. Have you seen the Venom movies?
No, I haven't seen either of the 2 Venom movies, but I know. I know of.
They're hot garbage, but it's fun. It's like a fun, trashy, campy
like
movie.
My isekai.
You know what I mean? They're not like the isekai, right? They're not cinematic masterpieces, but if you go into them knowing that they're kind of shit, then you'll have a fun time. So yeah, he comes to this world, and we knew that from the end of the second Venom movie, but they don't really use him at all. He's just like he's like in Mexico.
Yeah,
talking to a bartender, and then like he goes by away. The time it's all over, he gets fucking transported back. But he left some of the symbiote, dude.
Oh,
so that's where
that's true. Yeah,
they leave it open.
Yeah, that's true.
They leave it open.
That's where it could go. Possibly.
Yeah,
and maybe see how Tom Holland's Spider-Man, does as he's living a totally different life now. He's not just living the high life of with fancy technology. Now he's living just like me and you. So I think
he's like, it feels like he's Spider-Man now. It feels like he's not Mr. Iron Boy, like he's Peter Parker. Like he's not just a high school kid anymore. Like he's actually, it just feels like he's back to being a normal fucking Peter Parker, and I like that.
Yeah. So I hope.
Do you think he?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just hope they continue with this kind of like direction. Now just see like, okay, now he's gotten this like he's got the like basic foundations. Now what can we do here? Is he gonna like try to not win her back, but like that
was my next question. Do you think they keep the Ned and MJ thing, or do you think he
could
just
Gwen
meets a new like a Gwen or a Mary Jane or a Harry Osborn? Like, do you think he just meet new familiar cast, or do you think he goes back to MJ and Ned? Like, what do you think they're gonna do with that? Because I'm kind of unsure.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Because they could leave that in the past and it would feel normal.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I don't know if they're gonna keep them. So I don't know. I don't know. What do you think they're gonna do?
It's a tough one. I have a feel like I have a feeling like I have like two different sides. I have like what I think is gonna happen and what like I hope would happen. What I think is probably gonna happen is they're gonna continue with MJ because love you and all that kind of stuff they've said it before. But like as just like for me, I'm like let's spice it up a lot. Let's throw a Gwen in there.
Yeah,
Let's
that's what I want,
yeah
dude. Or let's throw like another Mary Jane in there because we've only seen one Mary Jane so far, right? I mean, this was like a MJ, but like a Michelle Jones, a different version of MJ, right? So even like a Mary Jane, a Gwen. I'm trying to think of who else he's dated. Spice it up, like you're saying, spice it up. We could throw in a Gwen in here. She could become Spider Gwen. You've seen Into the Spider Verse,
yeah
right? The animated film.
yeah.
Um, she could become fucking Spider Gwen. Like we could do some interesting things now that like the whole like his world is kind of like reset. I'm telling you, this was like my end game, dude. Watching this tonight was like I waited months for it, and it's totally exceeded my expectations. I love this film, man. I honestly want to go back and watch it again. I don't ever see movies like twice, but I really want to see this again. I can't. I'm still in shock of what I watched tonight. It still hasn't sunk in. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? I think I got everything I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think as well. Now I'm like I think it's even better than like Endgame because once Endgame was over, it's like
Totally.
it's like okay, I'm done with I've done it. Yep, finished. I've watched all those Marvel movies, saw how it ends. Well, damn, Endgame is I'm free now. But like this one, it's like oh, what can they do next to get some like it's because it's like a soft reset, without having like maybe they could change Spider-Man, but I don't think they're gonna change Tom Holland. There's no way. I feel like this is the perfect like starting point. Like,
yeah,
it's like now we can really start like.
Well, you know what would have been really crazy is if he lost his memories too. That would have been a legit reboot. That would have been a crazy reboot where it's like, okay, now we can take it wherever we want, but he still has the memories.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
I think but I feel like having this version, like him remembering, it's like now he's like, no one remembers me because I told, Doctor Strange to do that.
Yeah.
Like I think just the
he
maturity.
Yeah, he lives with it. Yeah, it's
that'd have been too easy
though?
of like oh I don't remember, no one remembers now, but the fans.
Yeah, you're
remember.
right. You're right. He wouldn't. It wouldn't hit as hard with his character because now he has to live with that, and that's Peter Parker. Peter Parker has to live with a lot of these consequences. What were you gonna say before I cut you off? Were you gonna say something?
I don't remember.
No. I think they're gonna do something with Venom, dude. I think
Kingpin,
the next
maybe.
movie he's either gonna. Oh,
but I think probably Venom
Kingpin.
because
they've built him up in 2 movies.
Yeah,
they built him up in 2 movies. So and he left the symbiote.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think they're gonna do that, dude. You know what's crazy? Because okay, have you seen the first Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Okay, so you stayed to the end when I told you to, right, for the Doctor Strange teaser. I think they're gonna do some multiverse stuff in that movie. It's called the Multiverse of Madness. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because with the multiverse, you could really do anything. Could
Literally
Andrew
anything.
Garfield? Could Andrew Garfield like come back again? Could he pull in that Spider-Man to help him? Like,
can they make Spider-Man 3 out of nowhere?
Oh, please, fucking please, that'd be sick. But I'm just saying it's a possibility now. And then they could go back. They could bring back the old X-Men movie, like I'm not saying like a Hugh Jackman would come back, but they could bring back like a Patrick Stewart. Like the possibilities of Marvel playing with their what is canon and what's not canon, like they could really kind of fucking do anything at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a feeling they might, because I heard that whoever the director was for this movie is making the Fantastic Four.
John Watts
making the Fantastic Four next.
Yep.
So maybe at the end of that one, maybe they'll bring in the Fantastic Four as a teaser for the Doctor Strange one.
Well, Doctor Strange is coming out. The Fantastic Four one isn't coming out for a while. Doctor Strange is coming out next year, I think. You know what's funny? The director of that one is Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi did the original Spider-Man trilogy, so I don't know if he's going to make this movie like he made those, but he had a lot of style and flavor when he made those ones. So, yeah, I'm just... It's the Marvel movies, man. The possibilities are endless, so... All right, guys and gals, the non-weebs out there, comment down below if you've seen No Way Home. I guess we shouldn't really talk about spoilers in the comment section, but Did you see the movie and did you enjoy it? We can talk about that. All right, let's get back to some anime stuff. Let's get back into the news. I feel like that. I can't. It's hard to go back from Spider-Man. I'm still blown away by that shit. All right, let's start with. Forgot how I introduced these. Let's start with Doctor Stone. Doctor Stone. We have 2 seasons. The second season came out this year, right?
Yeah.
Like in winter.
Yeah.
Season 3 is not coming out in 2022. It's coming out in 2023. That is interesting. And what's going to hold us over in 2022 summer is a special about Ryu Sui. Not sure if we know that character. Have you seen
a little while, so.
teaser? Yeah, you saw the teaser, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not much, typical anime teaser, but yeah, we have a special to sort of hold us over. Looks like he's like pirate themed, you know what I mean? So what do you make of this?
Yeah, it's Dr. Stone, I think we had a little bit of mixed feelings on last season when we watched it together. We have a little bit of
Yeah, it was not as high quality as the first. That's
the
how I
science
felt.
was always fantastic, but yeah, the
action lacked, dude. The action was really, but we were watching Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan at the time, so
I remember that now.
Maybe we had an unfair comparison, but I feel like the second season was not as good. So maybe a little break might do them some good. It's cool that we get a little special. I think that'll be something to hold us over. I don't know anything about it. You're not a manga reader of it, right?
No, I was, but I'm not that. I wasn't that caught up.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll go into it blind. Yeah, not much to say. Anything you want to say about it, really? I mean, it's just something to cover, I guess.
Yeah, I love. The science of Dr. Stone is always top notch. It's always. As I just love that shit. Love that shit. So. Hey, I'll take more.
Hey, you're something of a scientist. You're something of a scientist yourself, Germs. Mm-hmm. So, of course, you're going to like the science. So, comment down below. Are you guys hyped for the new Dr. Stone? And what do you make about Season 3 coming out in 2023? Interesting. I would have expected next year, but hey, a little bit of time, I guess. Okay, let's get into one that you're a little bit familiar with, and that is Hell's Paradise. We're getting an anime. So what do you know about this one, Germs? You said that you've read this one, right?
Not fully, but I read a 20-something chapters or so. But yeah, the art on that is absolutely top tier. And just the settings and the backgrounds is like, whew, like this is gonna be some tough adaptation here. But just from the trailer,
guess who's doing it?
Mappa.
Guess who's doing it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, hey, that's a good sign. Yeah. We're off to a good start. What's it about? Tell me what it's about.
So it's basically like, it's very weird. So it's like they have some there's like some like weird crazy island that like they're like no one, like they keep sending people there, but no one ever comes back. But like, so like some things that do come back, it's like they like become like one with like when they get sent back, it's like a plant version of like just like a plant. It's very weird.
The fuck? This sounds so weird.
Yeah. That's how it feels, and it's like that's how like the initial starts. Like we keep sending people to these islands, but they keep getting sent back like these plant weird. It's like oh, this is too weird. Like so like they get like in pairs, like one prisoner and one like executioner. So like they just send these pairs of teams to like investigate. Like they have like 20. I forgot the exact premise, but it's like they have a certain amount of time, to learn about this island, and if they can come back, then come back somehow.
What's the genre? Is this an action show or? Because I see some action in the trailer. Is it like a thriller? Like, are you trying to unravel the mystery of this island?
Yeah, I think a little bit of that. It's it's a little seinen as well. There's some mature topics and scenes in there.
Okay.
So
it looks great.
The art,
the trailer looks great.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how they're able to adapt it.
Yeah, it's gonna come out in fall of 22, so basically like a year from now. Yeah, it doesn't. We don't know. It's too early to know how long it'll run for. But interesting nonetheless. You're hyped for it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for it.
Did you get deep into it or just like a little bit?
A little bit into it, because I think I just caught up to whatever what was out, and it's been like so long that it's now completed now.
Yeah, Yeah, well, guys and gals, the weebs out there, comment down below if you guys are excited for Hell's Paradise. I'm completely new to it. Germs knows a little bit about it, so definitely one to keep on the radar. All right, so this one will definitely be more of a you topic. Although I've seen some of it. Bleach. That's right. It's
What year?
2021 and we're actually talking about Bleach. What? What? It's 2021 and we're talking about a fucking Spider-Verse movie. I think that's crazy too. But Bleach is coming back, the Thousand Year Blood War arc, which, from what I understand, is the final arc that was not adapted. From what I understand, is that correct?
Yeah.
That will be coming out in October 22. So I feel like we've known about this for a while, but now we actually have a date. I kind of don't want to watch the trailer. I never finished Bleach. You finished, but you actually didn't even. You read it.
Yeah, I read it completely.
So
like, you know,
you didn't watch
the bar
it,
is so low, you know, for this adaptation that like if they can draw a background, they've done it.
It's better than the manga. Then it's better than the manga.
Yeah.
No offense, Kubo, but his backgrounds were just never it for me. But the anime, by the way, the anime was always so I've seen just the first arc, the Soul Society arc, animated. That shit was really good back in the day. Like the animation quality was never bad with Bleach. Like, 'cause you know, like Naruto would kind of falter, One Piece kind of falters. Bleach was always solid with the animation and the fights and stuff like that. So I've always felt like Bleach is probably a better adaptation, like a better anime than manga, just because of the art style. But yeah, like you said, like the bar is kind of low. I don't think people like the Bleach fans want something good, but the general audience is like, okay, we'll kind of take anything at this point, right? Like we've been waiting for so long. Like whatever you give us is kind of what you'll give us, right?
Yeah. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
see, you know, see it in action, seeing some actual backgrounds to some of these fights, and
Yeah.
you know, it'd be fun, a little fun to watch. There's some great fights in there, but it
Yeah.
was just so like at the end, it's like hopefully they improved the ending a
Well, it
bit.
was rushed.
Yeah,
He had the rug pulled out from
like
him
7
because
chapters or
Bleach was
something.
declining. Yeah, I don't know how much they give him. I feel like the longer you've had a series running, they should give you more fucking time, dude. Like, how many chapters was it? Like, you can't just
5 or
tell
7, I forget which one.
a mangaka to just be like, okay, you're done. Because like a typical manga, they're like, you need to wrap it up in 3. Like, we're canceling you. So, and they kind of did that to Kubo. I don't know if it was 3, but um, yeah, like you said, hopefully they adjust the ending. Was the arc good itself up until the ending, or do you remember
Well,
it?
that also was like kind of like not for me. It was
Meh.
kind of meh. Just like the premise of it was like, really, you know, it's like
Yeah,
that's how it is.
you gotta
That's how it is with a lot of shonen. It's like, you know, once you get to a certain
well,
point, yeah.
back then especially because there was no such thing as seasonal stuff, man. Like if you had a shonen and it was killing it, you just let it run for a while. That's why I think people fucking love Full Metal Alchemist because it didn't run itself into the ground. You know what I mean? Like even Death Note, people feel like Death Note went on for longer, and it was supposed to end with well, we won't get into spoilers. It was supposed to end where everyone knows it was supposed to end, and Jump wanted it to keep going because it was selling so well. You know what I mean? So Jump has been known for pushing it longer and longer. And think about Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer could have kept going, but they ended it, and it was super mega successful, and that's why people love it because they didn't run it into the ground. You know what I mean? But back in the day, they would let them run into the ground. So that's why Bleach kind of One Piece and Naruto stayed at the top. Bleach kind of
Hmm.
fizzled out from the big 3. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, maybe they could fix the ending. Maybe I don't know.
yeah. I'm mostly just gonna watch the fight scenes and stuff. You know, just be like,
Yeah.
There's like so many great fights in here. It's like, oh yeah, hmm, hmm. But just like the story wise, it's like, I'm not really interested in the story. But like maybe if they fix up the end a bit, maybe like okay, yeah, okay. I'm not like super excited
Yeah.
for this adaptation. I know a lot of friends that are. You know, it's great for them, but for me, it's like, you know, I didn't grow up on Bleach. I was just reading, you know, what are like the top shonens? Like, let me read through all these, you know. But I don't have a long
Well,
history with it, you know.
Well, you got into anime after me, so I kind of did grow up on Bleach,
Yeah.
but but anime wasn't as easy to find back then. So when I got to the filler, I was just like, I don't know what it is with filler in me, man. When I get to filler in a show, I'm just like, fuck this, I'm out. Uh, sorry, Shippuden. But I was kind of like that with Bleach. I thought the Soul Society stuff was great, and then it went into, I forget. Well, you didn't experience it. You were reading the manga. It was filler, but I think it was called the Bound arc or something like that. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking terrible, and I just kind of dipped out, never returned. But from what I saw, I loved it. It's a shame I haven't finished it. Only 366 episodes, no problem. I'll just get on that, I really like the dub, so maybe I'll wait for this to come out in dub and watch it. I mean, I can't. There's a whole new generation of anime fans that have probably never even seen Bleach, dude. Like all the people who got into anime from like Demon Slayer, they probably aren't caught up at all. They probably don't even. Bleach is probably old to them, which is crazy to hear, but it's probably how it is, So this is for like the OG fans. This is for the this is for the Bleach fans that have been. This is for the ones that have been asking for years and years and years, and they've been waiting for fucking ever. So yeah, Bleach is coming back, guys and gals. Comment down below. Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you even caught up with Bleach? Have you read it? Have you watched it? It's probably not. There's a whole new generation of fans that probably aren't even familiar with the big three. And with that, that's our episode. Holy crap. We did this. This is the After Dark episode for you guys.
It almost start turning into the after the morning.
Yeah, it's I have work tomorrow. You got a final tomorrow. We do it for you guys. We're not the biggest channel out there, but if we provide you guys any entertainment,
having the fun as
we
well.
did our job and having fun with it. A little late to be doing this, but hey, it's always good talking. So. Yeah, if you like this clip, please give us a like and thumbs up. And YouTube, we'd love it if you sub. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, you can also give us a like on there as well. And with that, any final parting words for this week's episode?
I was about to tell you. Don't worry, you already.
Thank you. This is why I can't do a podcast on my own. We have a Christmas special coming out. We don't have a date for it. It's coming out this week. That's all we'll say. It's a Christmas special, and it's a Weeb Christmas. Okay, it's anime Christmas, but you'll see a special from us. We're in person in it, and so when that hits your sub box, if you even remotely like either of us, be sure to click on that video. We spent a lot of time into that video, and I think it's going to come out really good. We haven't started editing it, but we shot it, and I think it's going to come out pretty good.
Oh yeah,
so
it's gonna be a lot of fun as well. The reactions.
Absolute latest day that we'll upload that is on Christmas, but I'd like to have it out before. But we'll see how it all works out. But within this week, you'll see at some point this week hit your inbox if you're subbed. Subscribe if you made it this far. I'd be surprised if you're not. So yeah, be sure to watch out for that. And then we have another special coming out. That'll probably be like a week or two from now. We got to get, and then we haven't talked about Germs. We have to go over our winter preseason. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, but make sure to be on the lookout for the Christmas special. And so now I'll actually ask you any final thoughts for this week's episode. Now that we got that out of the way.
Just it's been the usual. A little bit more school focused recently, but hey, that's just how it be. But I'm super excited having this winter break. Off school and in work. Getting a big vacation off work. So I'm got 2 minutes free time. I'm not gonna do it. Play some games maybe. I have a big backlog of games I need to start playing.
I have a big backlog of anime I haven't even seen this fucking year, dude. Like the backlog it doesn't ever quit. It just grows and grows. It's too much. But yeah, all right. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will see you guys next week, and Weebs out. Spider-Man.